All right, next question. So we are going to begin as always, every single time by reading the question statement. We want to know what the goal of the problem is before we stress about really anything else. So here it says, what is your total cost C? Okay, sounds good. What is your total cost C? So my party people, can we go ahead and just repeat that? What is the letter that we are looking for explicitly speaking? That letter is C, right there. That's all we care about. And so when we start reading the problem from start to finish, you tell me if you notice what I'm noticing. It says a prepaid phone plan charges according to C equals 15 plus 0.10 M, where C is the total monthly cost in dollars and M is the number of talk minutes. Now, I know that was a lot. I'll agree with you. That's absolutely a lot of words. But did you notice that what we're looking for right there, C, popped up here and it was explained right there? Did we see that as we read it? Even if we felt a little overwhelmed, were we able to recognize those pieces of information? Good. And I really, really hope that at least now we're starting to see that. Because with these types of problems, we have to understand what the equation means through context, through what the words tell us they mean. So we are looking for that total cost C. Let's write that equation down. C equals 15 plus 0.10 M. My party people, quick question. Given that C is all the way over here already by itself, are we working forward or backwards once we plug in whatever M is? Are we working forward or backwards in that case? And if you're thinking forward, absolutely correct. Simply because the variable is already by itself. When we find out what M is, we'll plug it in because it's going to be 0.10 times whatever M is. And whatever you get here, we're going to add 15. All of it is already over here on the right side. So, with that said, here we go. Let's plug in what they give us for M. Right here, M is 350 minutes this month. So, with that, we'll go ahead, plug in 350, and we'll get the answer. So here, C equals 15 multiplied or plus 0.10 multiplied by 350. My party people, the reason that we know that that's where M goes is simply because you see M right here. M equals 350. So before I do the math, before we just finish this thing off, can we all agree that these types of questions really rely on your ability to, again, point out the pieces and where each piece belongs? All right, so let's go ahead and get the math going here. So with that, everything's plugged in. Now here on the math side of things, we may be looking at 0.10 times 350, thinking that, oh no, we're working with decimals. Absolutely okay. When it comes to multiplying by decimals, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and ignore the decimal. We'll just multiply as if there is no decimal there. And then at the end, we'll bring the decimal back. So here we go. We have 0 times 0, and that's going to be 0. We have 5 times 0, that's going to be 0 again. 3 times 0, same deal. On the next line, when we work with this 1 over here, we're going to go ahead and place a 0 already because we want to work on the same level, on the same place value of that number. So here we go. 0 times 1, 5 times 1, that's going to be 5. And then 3 times 1, that'll be 3. So check this out. Once we add everything back, it looks like we have 3,500. I'll absolutely admit it. But with that said, everybody, how many decimal places do we bring back? Yeah, we're going to bring 2 back in this specific case. And the reason for that, pay attention, the reason for that is because the top number, 350, doesn't have any decimals. But the bottom number, the 0.10, that is going to be 1, 2 decimal places. Again, 1, 2, there it is. So we will bring back 2 as well. 1, 2. So this actually becomes 35. Now, I will absolutely admit that if you're someone who is, refreshing still, maybe a little bit anxious when it comes to working under pressure, you might get to this point and think, oh man, I know what the answer is, but not quite. Because what do we still have left to do, my party people? What is it that we still have left to do? Yeah, we still have to add that 15. So we have that C equals, again, 15, don't forget it, 15 plus 35. So when we add those together, 35 plus 15 is going to give us what, everybody? Here we go. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 3 plus 1 plus 1. And that gives us 5. So there it is. The cost that we're going to pay for this bill for this month is going to be $50. And that's going to correspond here with answer choice C. And there we go. All right, so in this question here, everybody, the point is, as stated in the question sentence, it says, hey, we want to know how far it will travel downstream in 3 hours. So not only do we want to know how far, which is a measure of a distance, we want to know specifically downstream, and we're giving a time frame of 3 hours. And then there's all this stuff about a current and a speed, but really let's just take it one step at a time. We want to know distance. It says how far. So, okay, I want to know distance. Maybe I might receive a rate and a time. Now, next up, it says 3 hours. So we know that the time is going to be 3. So I can just write that down nice and easy. 3 hours, nice, right there. Now, here's where we really have to pay attention. It says a motorboat has a speed of 18 miles an hour in still water. Okay. So we have that rate, but let me write this down separately because there's something specific being said. It says in still water. So when the water is still. So I'm going to say that my speed when the water is still, that's going to be 18 miles per hour. Okay, no problem. And then it says we have a 4 mile per hour current. My party people, are we going to be adding that or subtracting that or doing nothing at all? Like, what are we going to be doing with that 4? And if you want to say one way or the other, can you give me a reason? Can you give me a reason? Yeah, if we're going to say addition, because that's a lot of us thinking addition. Yeah, because it's going to be going with the current. The key word, downstream. As a reminder, everybody, water currents travel downstream. If you're going upstream, you are fighting the current. So here we're going downstream. So we have the still water speed being 18 miles per hour. And from there, we'll add 4 miles per hour because, again, we're going with the downstream current. So that gives us 22 miles per hour. And now we're ready to go. We're all good because we have the rate that we need right there. We have the time already given to us, and we're good to go. Distance equals rate times time. The rate was 22. The time was 3. 22 times 3 gives us 66 miles, and we are good. As long as we understand how the current affects the movement of the boat, that puts us in a pretty good position to get the correct answer here. And one more time, upstream, you're fighting the current. So if you're going upstream, we would have been subtracting the 4 miles per hour. And in this case, the actual case, going downstream, we're going with the current. So we'll add the 4 miles per hour. So one more time, downstream means add, upstream means subtract. But nonetheless, the correct answer here is answer choice C, 66 miles.